Many people say they want to stop procrastinating but can't. The truth is, procrastination has nothing to do with laziness and everything to do with how your brain works. You don't delay tasks because you don't want to do them. You delay because the brain has learned to seek immediate relief from discomfort. It's as if every time you're about to start something important, your mind creates a trick to push you toward distractions. Your phone, social media, anything that relieves the tension. But this momentary relief comes at a high cost. Your self-confidence, your results, and the feeling of control over your own life. Now imagine if, even today, you had practical tools to break this cycle and finally take action without relying on motivation or waiting for the perfect moment. What I'll give you here aren't scattered ideas, but tested, simple, direct steps that anyone can apply immediately. It's as if you had a manual to unlock your mind and take the wheel. If you're tired of feeling guilty for leaving everything for later and want to prove to yourself that you can do it, stay with me until the end, because these 8 steps will transform your relationship with procrastination. Before we go on, make sure you've already hit the like button, but only do it if you're someone who loves personal development content. If possible, write this: I am stronger than my impulses. Now, I'll show you the first thing you must do if you want to stop procrastinating. Number 1, identify the hidden trigger. Every time procrastination shows up, it doesn't come out of nowhere. There's a trigger. It might be fear of failure, perfectionism, anxiety, or even too many options about where to start. The first key to breaking the cycle is identifying yours. This requires stopping for a few seconds and observing, what am I feeling right now that makes me want to avoid this task? When you name the emotion, the brain stops acting on autopilot and starts regaining control. For example, if you notice you're stalling because the task seems too big, you already know you need to break it into smaller parts. If you discover it's fear of not being good enough, you already understand you need to start imperfect anyway. Without this clarity, you're fighting an invisible enemy. But when you recognize the trigger, you can dismantle the trap. It's like turning on the light in a dark room. Suddenly you see what's holding you back and no longer feel like a hostage. This is the first step to turning procrastination into conscious action. Number 2, use the 5-second rule. Procrastination feeds on delay. Every time you think about doing something and wait, your mind finds justifications to postpone. That's where the 5-second rule, created by Mel Robbins, comes in. It works like this. When the idea of starting a task arises, count from 5 to 1, and before you finish, move your body toward action. It could be opening your computer, standing up, or grabbing the material you need. It may sound too simple, but it's precisely this speed that tricks the brain and prevents it from making excuses. The countdown interrupts the automatic loop of stalling and puts you in a state of immediate action. It's not about motivation, it's about decision. If you wait to feel ready, you'll delay forever. But if you use the 5 seconds as a trigger, you'll find that starting is the hardest part. And once you take the first step, the rest flows. It's like switching on an internal lever that activates discipline and silences procrastination. Number 3, break big tasks into micro actions. One of the biggest reasons for procrastination is seeing a task as a mountain impossible to climb. The brain goes on alert, interprets it as a threat, and looks for any escape, opening social media, checking messages, even cleaning drawers. The solution is to break the mountain into steps. Instead of thinking, I need to write an entire report, focus on open the file and write the first sentence. The secret is to reduce the task to the smallest possible move. This technique tricks the brain because a small action doesn't trigger the same emotional resistance as something huge. And when you complete a micro action, your body releases dopamine, which increases the feeling of progress and gives you energy to keep going. Little by little, the impossible becomes possible. What seemed heavy becomes light. That's the power of breaking the whole into parts. You eliminate paralysis and create rhythm. Progress generates motivation, not the other way around. Number 4, create a distraction-proof environment. Procrastination loves opportunities. Every notification, open tab, or object out of place is an invitation to escape what you need to do. That's why preparing your environment is like setting traps against self-sabotage. Close tabs unrelated to the task, put your phone out of reach, turn off notifications, and keep only the essentials in front of you. If you're studying, keep only study materials. If you're working, organize your desk first. The brain responds to context, and a chaotic environment increases the chance of distraction. Think of it like strength training. You need to reduce extra weight to lift properly. By creating a clean, focused space, you don't depend only on willpower, because your environment works in your favor. Productivity stops being a fight against temptations and becomes natural, almost automatic. Number 5. Set short and realistic deadlines. One of the most common mistakes that fuels procrastination is believing there's still time. When the mind perceives a distant deadline, it interprets it as if there's no urgency and pushes action off. But when the time finally comes, stress skyrockets and quality drops. The solution is to create short, specific deadlines for yourself, even if the official task is far away. If you need to deliver something in a week, set a micro deadline for today. By 6 p.m. I'll finish the first part. The secret isn't overloading yourself, but creating milestones that keep the brain in a healthy alert state. Short deadlines create urgency, trigger focus, and prevent stalling. It's like training your mind to understand that the time is now, not later. The more realistic and specific the deadline, the greater the chance you'll stay committed to action. Number 6, reward immediate progress. One of the biggest reasons procrastination takes over is simple. The human brain is wired to seek immediate pleasure and avoid pain. This means that if the mind associates a task with effort, frustration, or boredom, it will look for any quick relief, like checking your phone, opening the fridge, or getting lost in random videos. The problem is that when this happens, the only reward you feel is momentary, while guilt and the sense of delay pile up. This is exactly where the strategy of rewarding immediate progress comes in. Instead of waiting until the end of the task to feel good, you train your brain to celebrate every small step forward. How do you do this in practice? Simple. Set rewards proportional to the effort. Finish the first part of a report, stand up, stretch, and go have coffee guilt-free. Studied for 25 minutes with focus. Allow yourself to listen to a song you like or walk for 5 minutes. Completed a micro action on your list? Mark a visible check, preferably on a board or a paper where you can see it. This gesture, however small, releases dopamine, the motivation neurotransmitter, which creates an immediate sense of achievement. The more you practice this effort plus reward cycle, the more your mind starts associating action with pleasure, not just obligation. The key is that the reward shouldn't compromise your goal, like eating a huge dessert every time you advance, but rather simple stimuli that bring satisfaction without sabotage. The focus is to condition the brain to want to continue. Think of it like a video game. No one plays only for the ending, but for the joy of conquering intermediate levels. When you apply this logic in real life, procrastination loses power because you don't have to wait for big wins to feel motivated. Progress itself becomes fuel. In the end, rewarding the now isn't luxury. It's a neuroscientific strategy to trick resistance and train discipline in a pleasant way. Number 7. Trade perfection for progress. Procrastination often disguises itself as perfectionism. The mind creates the illusion that you can only start when everything is ready, when you have more time, when conditions are ideal. The problem is that this perfect moment never comes, and meanwhile, nothing happens. The antidote is simple but powerful. Focus on progress, not perfection. This means accepting to start imperfectly, producing a rough first draft, taking the first step without knowing all the details. Science shows that action creates clarity, while waiting for clarity creates stagnation. Every draft, every attempt, every piece done is better than the emptiness of waiting. Small progress every day builds giant results, while perfectionism only piles up frustration. Remember, there is no perfection without practice, and practice requires movement. If you want to beat procrastination, you must allow yourself to be a learner in the process. Number 8. Use daily review to maintain consistency. Beating procrastination isn't just about starting today. It's about continuing tomorrow and the day after until action becomes habit. And for that, you need a simple system that keeps your mind focused on what really matters. This is where daily review comes in. A moment at the end of the day to look at what you did, what you didn't do, and what needs adjusting. This step is powerful because it brings awareness and prevents you from drifting on autopilot. When you review, you celebrate what you advanced, even if it was little, and identify what held you back. Maybe it was too many distractions, lack of clarity, or a poorly defined deadline. When you write down these observations, you create a cycle of continuous improvement. In practice, set aside 5 minutes before ending the day to answer 3 questions. What did I accomplish today? What pulled me off focus? And what can I do differently tomorrow? This reflection isn't for guilt, but for responsibility. The brain learns through repetition and adjustment. Each time you review, you strengthen the neural circuit of discipline. It's like recalibrating a compass daily so you don't drift off course. On top of that, daily review helps maintain motivation because you see accumulated progress. Many times, procrastination seems to return because you feel you're not moving forward. But when you visualize progress, no matter how small, your brain understands you're building something, and this releases dopamine, the chemistry of well-being and persistence. This sense of progress is addictive and creates a positive cycle. The more you review and adjust, the more consistent you become. In the long run, this simple practice is what turns occasional effort into lasting behavioral change. If you made it to the end, write this: I will put this into practice. I truly hope you do it. Procrastination isn't a fixed destiny. It's just a habit trained over time. And every habit can be reprogrammed when you understand how your mind works and apply practical strategies. These 8 steps are more than tips. They're tools that turn intention into action and action into results. If you put them into practice today, you'll realize you don't need to wait for motivation. Movement is what creates energy, focus, and confidence. And every small victory strengthens your discipline until taking action becomes natural. Change doesn't happen all at once, but it starts the moment you decide to stop waiting and take control. Now, send this video to 2 people on your WhatsApp, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I left a video here on the screen that you need to watch today. Click it and I'll see you on the other side.